John Morrell, Fragrance Review. Here comes the swag. John Morrell, Fragrance Review. Here comes the swag. All right. Welcome to my home studio. Beautiful Catskill Mountains. I'm John Morrell. And guess who is my special guest? I have Ryan. Ryan, what's up, buddy?
Hey, not too much, buddy. How are you doing?
Every day is a good day if you wake up. I say that all the time because it's true. I don't want to test the alternative.
That's true. That's true. I don't blame you one bit.
I've had people go, I don't know. I'm like, well, I'd rather just stick it out here.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome,
sir.
man. I'm excited because you have to have more fragrances than I do. I'm assuming because you have so many fragrances I don't have. So I was so excited to have you as my first guest in the series. And you know what? I've been toying with names of the series, and I was thinking about, because I'm going to interview viewers or interview subscribers. So I was thinking about calling it interviewers.
Okay. I like that.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
All right.
It rings a bell.
You're the first one to hear it. I just like, maybe. But then I was like, people going to get it. I guess we'll see. But awesome.
Yeah, I like that.
So first question. I didn't tell you I was going to ask this one, but it should be easy.
Okay.
What are you wearing right now? And by the way, for anyone watching, I'm going to talk about his clothing. I can see him. That'd be weird. I'm talking about what kind of fragrance. What kind of fragrance are you wearing right now?
Good point. So earlier today, I sprayed on Kaftan from YSL.
Okay. All right. Another one I don't have. You have a lot of fragrances. So that brings me to the next question, which is how many fragrances do you have in your collection?
So right now I have between 240 and 250. So I started counting them earlier and I'm like, it's somewhere in that area.
Wow. That's wild. Man, I used to have, I'm at like 140 now, but I used to have over 200, but I told you the story and people have heard it where I just put all my fragrances on a table and have my friends come over and just take whatever they wanted. It was like pointless. I just gave away 2 fragrances. Just, you know how I did fragrances that aren't doing it for me. And I said that the Versace Eros is not doing it for me.
Yeah.
I just gave both of them away.
Really?
Yeah, Versace Eros and Eros Flame. Yeah. I just, someone asked me for them and I couldn't justify saying no because I was like, well, I don't like them. So
give them to somebody that'll enjoy them.
Exactly.
Right?
They're going to enjoy it. That's what I'm saying. I've done that before. It's like, I did that with, people can't believe it. I did it with Baccarat. Baccarat Rouge 540. I gave it to a relative and people are like, are you crazy? It's so expensive. I'm like, yeah, but I just would never wear it. For some reason, me, I didn't dig it. That person loves it. They're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm like, just have it. I'm not going to,
Yeah.
Cool. So now,
their life.
I hope so. They don't have a lot of fragrances. So that's their thing. That's like their signature scent now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Some really nice guy gave me this.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Well, listen, you give me all stuff. I'm glad you like it because that's another one. I was like, I love Tom Ford, almost everything that Tom Ford does, but for some reason that one, you know what? And if you're into, to me, it smelled a little like sitting out at a campfire. I don't know why. That. Yeah.
I did a patchouli bomb. Like it really
smells
like a patchouli bomb. Yeah. But it's
which I like campfires, but I live in the mountains, so I actually have campfires.
Right. At some point they can get dangerous.
Yeah. Now, so what got you into fragrance collecting in the first place?
Okay, so back in the day, I'd say middle school, high school, I had Boss Bottled. So that got me the ladies back in the day, all one of them. And then when I hit 2003, when I was graduating high school, my uncle wore Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme, the OG, the one with the sticker on the bottle.
Yeah, that's a good one.
In love with that. So I wore that for like the next 4 years. And then it wasn't until recently that I got Dolce & Gabbana K, the EDT.
Oh,
that just took it to a whole nother level.
You like that one?
I love it. And I don't know why, but it intrigued me. I just fancied how much a good smell made me feel. it just enhanced all my emotions. So I just started getting deeper and deeper into fragrances, and that was not quite 2 years ago.
Wait, so you've only been collecting for 2 years? You're not kidding
quite.
around. You really
Yeah.
went full sprint. Yeah. All right. All right.
Absolutely. So I'm not an expert whatsoever.
You might be. I mean, that's a lot of fragrances for a short amount of time. So that's
Right.
wild. That's wild. All right. So how about this? What's your favorite? I have a feeling I know this, by the way, but
Probably.
what's your favorite line of fragrances?
Favorite
If you
line
have
of
one. And I know it's
fragrances?
hard.
It's very hard.
Let's
I
break it up.
honestly-
Let's break it up. Designer. We'll break it up to favorite designer, favorite niche house.
Okay. I'd say favorite designer. I love the Dior Homme line. I mean, it's just fantastic.
Okay.
As far as niche, I mean, you could call Jeremy Fragrance
That's
kind
what I
of
thought you were going to say.
a
Yeah.
new thing.
Yeah. I think it is. I think it is.
I like it a lot. But lately I've been getting into, I think it's Francesco Bianchi.
Really? Okay.
So very fascinating fragrances. Got my hands on some samples and have given them some use, and wow. Blowing
Wow.
my
Okay.
mind.
All right. You know, you're killing me with that, by the way. When you sent me, I was like, I had decided because I have some things I want to get, you know, and so I've been kind of the Jeremy fragrance I want to get. It bums me out that people, I just saw someone else like kind of say, oh, they're just too expensive. It's like, I don't know, man, what's too expensive is, it's hard to say,
Right.
but,
That's true.
but I want to get Office and then I want to get them all. I mean, I think he has a good line of fragrances and
Absolutely.
but I've also been like, okay, how much I need to settle down. You obviously aren't doing that, but I've been like, I want to settle down on the spending a little bit. Although I bought Monica Cho's fragrances the other day, but
Yeah.
but they're not going out till I think she sends them out in the somewhere April 20 something. But
Yes.
which
You'll have to let me know what you think, though, too.
Oh, I'll
excited
send
to
you
hear about
samples.
that.
I'll send you
Oh
samples.
man, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
For sure. But I want to get Jeremy fragrance. And then I was like, okay, that's what? That's gonna be the next like, money I spend. And he runs good deals. That's another thing I don't think people realize. Like, I'll give you an example. Today I was on the site and you had sent me the Chris Collins, which killed me because I started smelling them. I'm like, wow, I could own all these. Like these
Another
are all
great line.
good. Oh man, they're so good.
Wow.
But I thought to myself, I'm going to go to the site, Fragrance One site, and they do things all the time they don't even talk about. I put Office in my cart, and this window pops up and goes, "Oh, good news! You've qualified for 2 for 1."
Oh yeah.
And it's like Office, and it wasn't 2 offices, Office, and it offered me unisex, and I was like, "Oh,
Okay,
you
yep.
got to be kidding!"
That's
I
awesome.
didn't do it. I held myself back. But I wanted to so bad. I was like, oh my God, this is a good deal. I should have done it. But I was like, I'm trying not to do this. But,
Right.
My wife
you
is
sent me
just,
that one deal once. You told me about his one deal. You got all 5 of them. And it
Dude,
came
that's
out to like
crazy.
$47 a piece.
how crazy is that? Yeah, it's they still have that. It's called the Armageddon pack.
Armageddon. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's all his fragrances. There's 50 mLs though, but all his fragrances for like $249 or something like that. $249 or something like that.
Phenomenal.
Great
Yeah.
deal. You can't get that. I mean, I think when people say it's too expensive, they don't I don't think they look into the deals you can get. And
That's true.
you can't get some deals. And I get it. If you
Right.
just buy one bottle, it can be pricey for sure. But now, okay. So those are your 2 favorite house. Dior. Did you watch the Dior bio? Or I guess we would call it a bio documentary. It was
I
kind of a
don't think
bio.
so.
Oh
No.
man, you got to see it. If you go to Amazon, any place, you can type it into anything, but they have it's a documentary on Dior. Actually, the perfumer for Dior, who is, what's his name again? I'm going to blank out because Dior is not my specialty house. But
I'm drawing a blank. I
but it-
can't think of the name.
but it's
for it.
it's actually a great. I rented it. I didn't buy it. I should have bought it, but you can rent the movies or the videos. And it was such a great doc. It shows how he travels all over and how they get the oils out of everything. Oh, it was really, really good. If you're into that.
Yeah,
It
kind
was
of like
cool.
the Zaharoff deal. Have you seen Zaharoff do that?
No, I haven't.
Oh, yeah. You got to watch that too. He
Oh.
has it on his YouTube channel.
Oh, he does. I'll have to go
Yes.
check it out. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I love
Which-
George. George is so good.
Absolutely. I'm even wearing a shirt.
Oh, nice, nice.
You can see my little
Oh, there
worship
you go.
table of Zaharoff up there. But
Yep. Nice.
good
Yeah.
guy. Got to mention him too. I mean, I can't go 3 days without wearing something of his.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
good.
I love
I see a lot of juice out of that. My what? My problem is that I've been like just here. Like I don't really go. I mean, we have a big studio in Albany, so it's 40 minutes away. But besides that, I don't go anywhere. So my wife does not like anything even resembling a barbershop scent.
Really?
Oh no. She hates it, which bums me out because I love that sort of scent. But anytime I wear anything like that, she goes, "You smell like an old man. What are we doing?" I'm like, "Oh, come on." Yeah, it kills me.
That's
But,
what my wife does with patchouli. She can smell patchouli from a mile away.
You're a hippie. Yeah. Well, you know what? Well, it's funny because you had asked me about Guerlain the other day.
Yes.
And one of the newest scents is it's called Patchouli Ardent.
Okay.
So that's one of the newest scents in that line, the Orient. Yeah. And actually it's not that bad. If you might, that might be one. It's new. It doesn't smell which is interesting. It doesn't smell super patchouli.
Okay.
The Tom Ford one that I have, Patchouli Absolute, that's very patchouli, but
That's straight up patchouli.
pretty much. But that one's not. Your wife might be a way to introduce her to patchouli, but I mean, there's a $200 way to introduce her to patchouli because the bottle's $200. But
Hey,
now
sometimes that's what gets them.
I know, my wife loves that whole line. She bought that for me, the patchouli one. She just loves that whole
Really?
Orient. Oh my God. We went to, I don't know if you ever go to Disney?
No,
Disney
I
World?
haven't been there yet.
Okay. So in Epcot, this might be a reason for you to go, by the way.
Okay.
In Epcot, there's a Guerlain store. It's one of the only Guerlain stores in America.
Oh man.
Yeah. Like an actual Guerlain shop. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's wild. So that's where she bought it for me. We went in. She's like, it was my birthday. I was at and she's like, all right, what do you want? I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. I'm like, you hate when I do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. Man. So
birthday present right there.
I know it was great. It was great. I mean, the whole trip was my birthday present. So, but
Yeah,
that was nice. Yeah, it was nice. Now,
that's fantastic.
it was awesome. What are now? This is going to be a tough one.
Okay.
Top 3 fragrances.
It
It's a tough one, right? I don't even know if I could do it. And you have more than me, so I can't imagine.
is. So Ross from TLTG Reviews a while back ago did a top 10 for life, which, that's been hashtagged or whatever and sent all around. But I tried to do that myself. Extremely difficult to do.
I did mine, and I hate my list already.
Yep.
Yeah, I did it way back. I did it. I think it was like the 3rd video I did. I think I did top 10 for life, or maybe it was top 5. And I literally don't even agree with my own list right now.
Really?
No.
Yep. That's how quick it changes. It's crazy. But date just has to be there. I mean,
I knew it. Yeah. It's such a great. It really is. Yeah.
For sure. And then between like Caftan and Dior Homme Parfum and Fahrenheit Parfum.
Really? I do love the Fahrenheit you sent me. That's not what you sent me. There's too many. There's so many that you put on my list now. I'm always like, I can never get to them. I have this list on my phone, and I keep putting, acquired after each one. And then there's so many. I'm like, I'm never going to do it.
Yeah. There's, I mean, I have a bag here. This is before I started finding, loves of my life, but there's a bag of decants.
Oh, wow.
Right there. So, I mean, I'm huge into sampling before I buy anything.
You are, you do it the right way. It's funny you say that. I was talking to Tyler about this from the other day. Tyler, right?
Yep.
And I said, my problem is for some reason, I can't bring myself to buy samples. Like I right away go, if I like the notes, I just go, I'm just buying the 3.4. Like I can't. And then, and I have gotten bitten by that.
Yes.
But I can usually find something I like about everything. But I have actually quite recently, real recently, I'm looking at fragrances right now that I bought 3.4s. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I didn't buy this. Oh my God. Yeah. So sampling is the best way to go, but I don't know why. You know why? It's not even the fact that I'm just getting samples. It's It's the process. It's the samples
Yes.
and then buying. It's like I feel like I'm doing twice the work. You know,
Right.
like I'm buying samples and then I'm buying the bottles. I'll just buy the
Yeah.
bottle. And then I'm like, oh, you know, like I got, you know what one is just I got Yuzu Man.
Okay.
Have,
Yep.
have you ever smelled that?
No, I have not.
Okay, so I got into Yuzu Man based on the samples you sent me from Galleria Parfums, right? So
Yes.
so right away I was like, oh, I like this Yuzu scent that he has. His is called
Yep.
Yuzu something, right?
Yuzu Grove or something. By
Yeah.
the Yuzu Grove.
And so just to kind of like I don't have any Yuzu scent, so to acquaint myself with Yuzu, I was like, all right, let's just grab something that's not super expensive that's Yuzu,
Yeah.
and let's just wear it. And let me tell you, this is don't buy Yuzu, man.
Really?
So first off, let me say it's not bad, although the scent's not weird, but it lasts, and I'm not exaggerating, 5 minutes.
Really?
The 5 minute scent. It's probably that and Brooklyn from Bond Number 9 are the two scents
Okay.
that last the least amount of time on me. Now I don't regret Brooklyn.
Ridiculous.
I don't regret Brooklyn because of the artwork.
Okay. Yep.
You know, because I
Those
would
bottles
have
are beautiful.
they're beautiful, and I'm a hip hop fan, so it has graffiti all over it and graffiti all over the
Yep.
box. So I would have bought it anyway. Even if someone said, "Dude, this last 5 minutes," I'm like, "Well, I want the box, and I want
Right.
I probably would have bought it anyway." But User Man, oh, and again,
Yeah.
I only paid like $35. Who cares? But it was still
Right.
like, I mean, I was like, "Oh, this is," and not only do I like, I put it on and I put it up to my wife. She goes, "Oh, that's awful. What is that?" And that was like right when I bought it. I'm like, oh no. And then I always try to prove her wrong. I'm like, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm like,
Yep.
oh man, this isn't very good. I hope this gets better. Hope this gets better. It never did.
No,
But-
that's thing.
All right. So dates on there for sure for you.
For
Top
sure.
3.
Yes.
So date. What else?
I'd say Dior Homme Parfum.
Parfum.
And
have
right now it actually might be Sweet Taboo from Chris Collins.
Okay, I put that on too. That's very good. Yeah. See, yeah, because you were teetering there, so I knew it. That's nice.
Yes.
All right, good.
Yes.
All
I
right.
just had so many. The 3 I actually narrowed down to like 7 when you asked me for 3. I'm like, all right, between these, amongst these, but
yeah. Now, how about this? This is a tough one. I know because hopefully it's not an indie house. I don't like to ever badmouth indie houses. So even when I don't like a fragrance, I just go, okay, well, although Tyler convinced me the other day to admit a fragrance I didn't like from an indie house, but
Yes.
I like a lot of their fragrances. That one I just don't like. But
right.
what's your least favorite? And maybe a blind buy, regrettable, I don't know, but least, and it could be a few, but
Okay. So I'm not a fan of the 8 fragrances I've tried from Amouage.
oh yeah, you were saying that. Yeah.
Not a fan of Amouage, like at all. I can't wear anything. It doesn't agree with me. It smells very animalic. Almost every scent is very animalic.
I'll say I'm into animalic scents a bit. Now I haven't tried
Okay,
a lot of those, but I
Yeah.
will say there's a fragrance they have, and off the top of my head, I think I wrote it down. I think it's maybe Reflection. One of them. I think it's Reflection. That smells like John Vervato's Dark Rebel.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of Dark Rebel. It's one of my favorite scents of all time. But as we know, for whatever reason, Vervato's scents don't last very long.
True.
And so these do. And so right away to Tyler, I said, "Ooh, this might be at the top of my list," just because even though I love Dark Rebel, if I can get a Dark Rebel that lasts forever.
Yes.
And then I saw the price. And again, listen, everything's worth what you're willing to pay for it. I don't have a problem with that.
Absolutely.
You could charge $1,000 for your fragrance. If someone's willing to pay it, it's worth it.
Absolutely.
But then I was like, well, I'm not the type of person that minds refreshing fragrances. So then I'm
Right.
like, well, do I want to go pay $300 for a fragrance I already have that I'll just keep spraying on? So
Right.
at that point, I was like, I don't know, but
Logical.
yeah, but I can see, yeah, you had said that Amouage is not something that you really dig.
No, and I think it might have been Jubilation 25. Is that the one that you said was similar to John Varvatos?
Is that the one? Maybe you're right. I have Jubilation written down too, so you might be right. A Jubilation, I have Reflection, both of them.
The one you compared it with.
You know more. You know better than me. There you go. I like the fact that you paid attention to my video. By the way, now I know you actually watched it.
Yeah, all the time, man. I love watching your videos.
Oh, awesome, awesome.
Another indie house. I'm not huge on, but I think they're going to make it pretty big because it's very high quality stuff. It's TSVGA.
I gotta
So
write that down.
Yes.
TSVGA.
TSVGA. Indie house, very high concentration of oils,
Okay.
very high quality. I don't dig them because they're more on the animalic side,
Oh,
but I
okay.
know a lot of people have been giving this stuff praise.
Oh, really? Okay.
So,
All right.
yep.
So you're not
So-
into. So you probably aren't an ambergris fan then, because ambergris
Oh,
usually is
I
the
know.
one that brings out the animalic, right? mean-
A little bit. I mean, animalic comes in different ways. Sometimes you can get like a fecal animalic smell.
It's funny. Now, do you? I don't think you do. Do you have an Instagram?
No, I do not. Nope,
Oh,
no
okay.
Facebook, no Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
none of
I don't
that.
have any Facebook. I only have Instagram. It's my only
Yeah.
social media. But
Right.
I only because I had this big conversation with a guy. Guy hit me up. He sees my channel. He follows me. I follow him. He's a guitar player, I think.
Yeah.
And he said he had this big long post. He goes, you know what? I'm going to ask you. I don't get this fragrance obsession, basically. And he said,
Yep.
I'm kind of a hippie. He said, and he goes, I think we've been taught not to like our own smell. And they went into this big thing. And so we had like a back and forth, very cordial, a super cool guy. And one of the things he said was, I don't understand. We don't like our own smell, but we like whale feces and beaver anal glands. And it was very funny. I was like, I said, it's not, ambergris isn't actually whale feces, and it's mostly man-made, but they do still use, but it was very funny. But
Right. In musk, I mean, coming from deer balls, are you kidding me?
yeah. Yeah. All right. So now so that's your least favorite is just the Amouage line.
Yes.
Much. Okay.
Yeah, it's Amouage, and I've tried Kajal. I'm not really huge into Kajal. Now the Pour Homme isn't
people
bad.
love that, right?
I
People
know,
love that,
but wait till you get into some of these. I think it's the Fita collection. They're very, very animalic.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. The Fita collection. You got
Okay.
a little, I think it's a 5
Oh,
milliliter
nice.
of each.
I know a lot of. I have smelled, and off the top of my head, I don't know, but I have smelled some niche houses that are going. I almost feel actually I do know. I don't want to say because they're a small house,
I don't blame you.
but I've smelled some that go a real strange way. Like they are. It's almost like they're trying to be so different. You know what I mean? And then
Yes.
that they're not appealing. And I always go, now I get that sometimes you wear things for yourself. I understand that, but
Correct.
I don't want to wear things that offend people where they're like, dude, what is happening right now?
Yes.
So like I smell, there's actually a house I love a lot that I have one of their fragrances. It's part of a collection, so I probably won't give it away, but I want to because when you spray it on, it actually smells like body odor. And it's and I feel like they're definitely doing it on purpose because I know pheromones do attract people.
Right.
And it smells like body odor. And I'm like, I don't want to wear that because I can just let myself go if I want to smell like that. Like I don't have to spray something on for it.
Excretions.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, man. Sometimes I go, I think they're trying to get too artsy.
Correct. Yep. Going way off the norm, just like you said, to be different.
Yeah, for sure. Now, so tell me something. Is there anything, I don't know how much information you want to give about yourself, but what do you do for a living? If that's something you want to talk about.
Yeah. So I remodel bathrooms. So
you do?
Yep. I've been doing
cool.
it for the past 7 years now. I actually have a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I graduated from the University of Toledo back in Ohio in 2008. But I didn't really go down that path too much. I like more hands-on stuff.
Okay.
So when I moved to Iowa, found this remodeling company. Been working for them since.
Oh, wow. And so that's where you live, Iowa?
In Iowa now. Yes. Yep. That's where my wife was born and raised.
Okay. Awesome. How long have you been married?
So it'll be 9 years this year.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've only been to Iowa a couple times. I travel a lot. I did before this, but one of the times I've been to Iowa is I went to Iowa for Junior Olympics when I wrestled in high school. So I went to Iowa State, and they used to host Junior Olympics every year. Now they call it something else.
Yeah.
They changed the name to like Junior Nationals, I think, which is more appropriate because it wasn't really Junior Olympics. No one was coming from other countries. But I had 120 guys in my weight class. I'll never forget. It was like,
wow.
Yeah, I won like 5 times in a row and didn't place. It was crazy because you just so many people in your weight class. Yeah. It was wild. Yeah.
And wrestling is huge in the state of Iowa.
Yeah. So what does your wife do?
She does like home loans and stuff for people trying to mortgage a loan.
Yeah, for sure.
Get a loan for a house, not mortgage a loan, but mortgage a house or upgrade or anything like that. So she's kind of like a loan officer.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Does your wife support your fragrance habit?
We keep that separate. She doesn't really get into supporting it that much.
Okay. And I didn't know if because my wife isn't bad, but my wife definitely, fortunately for me, by the way, my wife controls my money. So she gives me like an allowance and she's like, okay, you have $400 for the next 2 weeks and do what you want with it. I'm like, well, isn't all of it mine? She's like, no.
Don't ever ask that.
So she supports you, but she doesn't support you.
Yes. Yep. I don't bother her with trying to give me money for anything or me take anything from her. I can get whenever I get the opportunity.
So you lived in Iowa for last 9 years?
Yeah, roughly about 8 years. So she came and lived in Ohio with me for the first.
And that's where you're from, Ohio originally?
Originally, yep. Born and raised in Ohio.
Oh, okay. Whereabouts in Ohio?
It's called Lima, Ohio. So it's about 80 miles south of the Michigan border. Okay. And then about 50 miles east of Indiana.
All right.
So right in the tri-state area.
Sure. I've been to all those areas for work. Awesome. Because I've been to Detroit and then Grand Rapids, of course. But I've been to Ohio, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and all through there, driving all through there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Cincinnati has one of the best Indian restaurants I've ever experienced in my life.
Really?
I've been everywhere too. And when I bring it up to people in Cincinnati, they know exactly what I'm talking about. It's called Ambar. And when I say I've had the best Indian place and they go Ambar, I'm like, yes, it's just amazing. It's just incredible. Yeah.
Wow. I'll have to get it sometime.
Yeah. It's really, really good.
Cincinnati also has one of the greatest skylines that I've ever seen coming out of Kentucky into Ohio.
Really?
At night. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Okay. Nice. Nice. I've had people that I have a guy who works at the studio who every time I go to, I guess it's Ohio, right? Do you guys, Ohio's really into that chili and spaghetti, Skyline? Right? Yeah. That's what made me think of it. And so this guy, every time I go, he goes, hey man, you gotta get the Skyline. And I go, yes. And I go, dude, I don't know. I like spaghetti. I like chili. I'm not sure if I like it together. He's like, you gotta try it. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it.
Yep.
And I never do it. You know why? Because it just so happens every time I go to Ohio, I'm on some kind of weird diet. And so I'm like, I can't have spaghetti and chili. It's like the worst thing I could possibly have. But I'm old now.
I like their chili dogs. They're chili dogs. They put about 6 inches of cheese on top of it.
Oh,
they're phenomenal. But my wife's not from there either, so she hates Skyline.
Oh, so really?
Maybe it's just kind of an Ohio thing.
I don't know. Maybe I'm going to try it next time though, because I'm old now, so I've given up on diets completely.
There you go. So I'm in thousands of houses. So believe it or not, most people, they either have one fragrance per couple, or they don't have a fragrance at all. Like, so if somebody tells you don't get Sauvage EDT, everybody has it. No, they don't.
Yeah, you're right. It's funny to say that. I've learned that most people don't have more than 1 or 2 fragrances. And I really isn't. When I show people my fragrance collection, people are like, dude, what are you doing?
Yes.
All the time. I have friends who are like, what are you doing? Why? And I'm like, they're right in some respects. I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to wear all this. But but it's like they're into something too. Like I know a dude is into sneakers. I'm like, yeah, man,
Yeah.
you have like 100 pairs of Nike Air. Like you're not gonna wear the you're wearing them. Like he's like,
Exactly.
no, I'm not. I'm like, yeah, of course we're alike. That you just
Right.
have something else that you collect. I'm a
Yeah.
collector. Doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. What?
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's purses, exactly. Come on, Matchbox cars when I was a kid. You know,
Yeah.
the worst things you could be addicted to.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Legos. I mean, you step on Legos. How many
Oh
times?
God, yeah. I know. Yeah, like when I was a kid, it was He-Man. I had all the He-Man thing, you know, the castle, you know,
Okay,
for
yep.
Skeletor's castle. Yeah.
Yes.
It's always something, you know. And so this is, you know, and like I said to this guy that kind of didn't get it, you know, and it was great. We kind of came to an agreement, you know, where he was like, okay, I get it, you know, and he
Yep.
appreciated my thoughtful answer. He said, but I said, and I think this is true. I think scents bring back memories. They're nostalgic.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you don't even know it. Sometimes you don't even know why you love a scent. You're just like, man,
Right.
this is like my thing. And you don't even know why, but it's something in that, and it's against all life experience. It could be a year ago. It could be 20 years ago, but something makes you go, man, I love this. And that's why, and I think that's a big part of why some people love certain scents and other people don't, you know, because I've had that happen where I'm like, I can't, I think actually it's one that I don't think you like very much. Like in my mind, I can't imagine someone not liking Elysium. But,
okay. I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
okay. But I've had people tell me they don't like it. I've had people go, I don't really get it. I'm like, man, I just can't imagine people not liking that.
Right.
But it has to be like something that is ingrained in you as you grow up. You know, like maybe you smelled something that just has great memories, and it could be the opposite. Sometimes I smell something, I go, oh, wow, no way.
Right.
No way. And people are like, are you kidding? This is amazing. Actually, the one that is always surprises me really is John, you know, one of the viewers. He hates, and I actually mistakenly said this was Jerry last time. So I apologize to Jerry because I know he loves the scent. It was it's Barbatos Dark Rebel. And I can't, again, that's the one I go, again, I get there's performance issues, but I'm always like, how can someone not like this? And John's like, I've returned that fragrance 3 times.
Oh,
which is wild because it means he bought it 3 times.
Yeah, he's trying to work it out.
He's trying, but he doesn't like it. And I'm always like, wow, I don't know what there is not to like about it. Like there's everything like tobacco, rum, you know, sugar. I'm like, everything's so good about it. But again, there's something in that where it just, when he smells it, his brain goes, oh no, this is not. And maybe he had a bad experience. I think it just, we're programmed, you know, Our experiences in our life program us to like and dislike certain things.
Yep.
You know, it's like, I mean, it's funny. I have a friend who's a nuclear physicist who gets a little wild with this stuff, but he actually believes that in some respects we're genetically programmed to like certain types of people as mates. Like, I'm not just talking like men or women, which makes sense. You know, I think you are born the way you are. He's like, there's a reason you like a blonde woman that has a certain figure. You're literally born that way. And I'm like, that sounds crazy. I don't buy into that, by the way, but that's his thing. He believes that you are genetically predisposed to like certain things, almost like you have no free will. You know,
yeah.
So I don't refuse to believe that. Even if it's true, I don't want to know. I want to believe that everything I do is because I made the decision.
Yep.
I want to believe that.
His brain already works a different way than ours does, being a nuclear physicist.
So yeah, for sure.
Like you said, the memories, the smells that bring back something in our life. I didn't like light blue and light blue intense from
really okay.
For a while. I had it. I wore it till the bottle was empty. I didn't care for it through college that much. But I got a sample of it, say about 3 months ago, and just wanted to give it another shot. Oh, intense. Sprayed it on, and my wife said, "Oh my God, that reminds me of when I met you."
Oh,
What?
because you probably wore it then, right?
I wore it then, didn't think anything of it. She's like, "I remember the first time I gave you a hug, and I could smell that. That's what I think of when I smell that fragrance." So I got a bottle, and I wear it more than I ever have before.
There you go. There you go. That's great.
It's grown on me. So, you take that and you take the appreciation of that time.
That can happen too. Yeah.
The scent smells wonderful. And there are several scents that I have had to spend time with to love.
Oh, you know what? That's totally true. I've had, and it's went the other way for me, but I've had, you're absolutely right. I've had scents where I'm like, okay, it's okay. And then the more I wear it, or I come back to it, that'll happen. I'll come back to it.
Yes.
Maybe a year later, or, months later, and I'll go, oh man, why didn't I like this before? But I went the other way. You know what I went the other way on a little bit. And I think it's because I have not had any positive feedback on this. I mean, zero. And when I got this, I thought it was like the greatest ever. Toy Boy.
Yeah. Toy Boy.
Toy Boy.
Yeah.
So when I got this, I actually liked this so much. I got a backup bottle, like immediately. And I put this on. My wife goes, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's," and I'm thinking she's going to like it. It's a rose scent. Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh, it's pear. It's rose." She's like, "That is not good." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, and then I'm like, "Wait, how's it?" And I tried to trick her a couple of times and put it on. She's like, "I don't know what that is, but it's awful."
Yeah. Yep.
And so now I don't wear it. And she kind of, and now I get it. I think it's a really good scent still, but I do think that's a scent you have to spray one time. I think I was overdoing it. Even like 3 was too much, and it lasts forever. So it lasts forever. I think if you put one on, I think they might be good for the day on that. Yeah. But she just was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I was like, "How's she not going to like this? This is like so unisex to me." She's like, "This is awful."
So that one's Sissy Sprayer certified.
Oh yeah, you definitely have to sissy spray that one. I think the other one that I still recognize as a good scent, but I don't love it as much as I did. I loved it because I think it's a year-round scent, and again, I recognize the fact that it's great. But Prada L'Homme, I don't wear as much.
Okay,
I used to think it was like, man, this is the ultimate year-round scent, and I still do believe it's a year-round scent, but for some reason. I don't know. For some reason, it doesn't strike me as much as it did. I'm kind of like, okay, it's good, but it's not anything, I don't know why. Maybe I'll come back to it. There's an example. I'll probably, maybe months from now, go back and go, oh my God, I love this. Why am I not loving this as much as I did? Who knows, but.
Very possible. On this hand, is Prada L'Homme Intense? Have you smelled that?
I have not gotten. You mentioned that before, and I haven't gotten that yet. Is it smell the same, just more intense, or is it different? Because sometimes I make it a little bit
different. It's more of a fizzy soda poppy smell, just a little bit.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I get it as being a little bit more intense as the original, but it goes down a slightly different path, a little bit more sweeter, darker.
Really? Okay.
Fantastic. Ever since I got that, I couldn't go back to L'Homme.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just prefer the Intense. It's fantastic.
Wow. There's one more. You got to stop. You know what I do? You know what scent I never get sick of, and neither does my wife. She loves it.
Awesome.
So which is nice, but again, it's I just have so many. I can't wear it all the time, but she really likes it. She says it's very aquatic, which I guess it is, but I feel like I do believe it's an all year scent, but Versace Signature.
Oh yeah.
I never get sick of it. Every time I put it on, I'm like, man, this is so fresh. You smell so fresh with this on. And that is something I'm surprised that more people kind of like talk about this as almost like it's a throwaway fragrance. Like, yeah, it's good. I get compliments every time I wear it, no matter where I wear it. It's weird. I put it on and people are like, and in fact, I think it was the last time I was in the studio, I had a voiceover to do, and the front end person said, "Oh, you're obviously wearing something very expensive," which of course is not very expensive. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, Versace, it's super expensive." But, but I was like,
the name sounds expensive because it is like in clothing wise and everything. But
yeah. But everyone in the studio is like, "Man, you smell so good." And I was like, "Wow, yeah." It's just but that's the thing that I don't like about Fragrantica. I don't know how often you go there. I mean, I do like it for other reasons. The reviews are so crazy. You can go, first of all, who doesn't like Versace Signature? Like, who literally goes, "Oh, no one. It's a great scent." I'm not saying it's the best. but it is
Right.
very pleasing. But you
Yes.
go to the reviews. People are like, "Oh, this is awful." I'm like, "Awful based on what? Like
Yep.
compared to what? Like, what do you mean awful?"
Exactly. Same with this one right here. Date.
Yeah.
Go look it up on Fragrantica. It's like
Oh,
a
I
2
know.
point something or low threes. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
That
yeah. Oh, I know. I
I've gotten
know.
more compliments on Date than any fragrance I own.
But I get that because that's all about Jeremy Fragrance. That's what that's about. They're not. It's not
Yes,
about the
yes,
fragrance. They don't.
it is.
They're not. They're not rating the fragrance because
100%.
almost every review,
No.
negative review, mentions him. Like they don't go, "Oh, this fragrance smells disgusting." They're like, it's like Jeremy Fragrance is this, or it's like,
Yes.
okay, well, are you going to do that for every? First of all, he's not even the perfumer.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Alberto Marias.
yeah. Well, yeah, Alberto Marias. Or you can. I mean, you're going to do that with everything. You're going to talk about the owner. The CEO of the.
Good point.
It's like it's super weird. Yeah, Date's really good. I know how good it is because my wife is the pickiest. I mean, she just almost as picky as you. You might be the pickiest, but besides
no, my
you,
wife and I am too.
oh
Yeah,
really?
I'm picky. My wife's double the picky.
Really? Wow. My
Yes.
wife hates so much. I put stuff on. She's like, ugh. I can't wear any barbershop. None. I mean, nothing. Even when I get
Yep.
like modern takes on it, she
Yes.
somehow sniffs it out. Like she hates Sauvage, hates it. Like she's like,
Okay.
no. You smell like an old man. And I'm like, this isn't a barbershop scent. She's like, I'm like, it's not. It's not a barbershop scent. She's like,
Right.
and I can't wear it around her. So I never bought a full bottle of that. But then Date I put on and I didn't say a word. I put it on, walked downstairs and she goes, "Oh, that's really good. What is that?"
Yes.
And she like immediately, I'm like, okay. So she like, that's, so
Yes.
I think that was when I had the sample from you. And that's when I was like, all right, I got to buy it because she loves it.
Yeah.
Just like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
The sillage is crazy off of that.
It lasts all day too. It really does.
Right.
It's a Date lasts all day, no doubt. And Office does too. I put that on, and that's another one. I don't know how he does it. I always wonder how. Not only do I wonder how, I wonder how certain fragrance houses get their fragrances to last all day, and why the other fragrance houses aren't doing it. Whatever it is they're doing, why aren't they doing it? And I will say this. Someone said something recently that made me go, "Oh, that's true too." Someone said, I sometimes don't want my fragrances to last all day so I can switch them out. And I was like, oh, that's very true, actually. So
That's a good point. That's a good point. But 2 and 3 hours, that isn't enough.
No, it's not. But so then I go, why aren't these other fragrances doing it? Like what are they doing? It's so fascinating. It really is. It's like everyone should be doing it. Like, and again, I get it. Like maybe you don't want your fragrance to last all day, but shower or whatever, although sometimes you can't get off.
Exactly.
Yeah, sometimes you can't. Like I had something on the other day. I can't remember what it was, but I remember going to sleep, waking up, and being like, "Oh, this is still on my sheets and everything."
Purple Sapphire.
Oh, that isn't what it was. Yeah, because you had sent that to me, and I put it on, and then I went to bed, and then I woke up. I'm like, "Oh, this is still on."
Yep. That's supposed to be the his version of Side Effect, I believe, from Initio.
I was wondering because I know that he kind of does. Here's what I love about that house. I'm going to buy some fragrances from. I haven't bought any yet. But here's what I like about that house is that I think his fragrances are the ultimate in inspired by. Now, what I mean by that is some people who say they're inspired by, they are cloning it, and that's fine too. I have no problem with clones. I know a lot of people do. I don't. I have no problem with clones. But he's literally taking a fragrance and going, okay, how can I make it better?
Right.
Nice. Yeah. He's trying to make them better. So he's not just taking a fragrance and going, okay, I'm going to clone this. I'm going to take, Elysium, for example, and I'm going to make it perform super long and I'm going to change it the way I like it. I'm going to make it like I like it. And so that's what I kind of get from these fragrances. And so I'm going to buy the Elysium, which is blue sapphire, which I shouldn't call it Elysium because it's his blue sapphire. I've heard nothing but good things about it. Yeah. And the one purple sapphire you gave me was great too. I was like, this is really good.
What? I've never smelled it. I bought purple sapphire. I liked the list breakdown, the note breakdown. It came and it was better than I could have expected. I've still never smelled Side Effect. I don't want to.
Yeah, I haven't either. Yeah, I haven't either. Well, that's sort of like
here's a little trick too. If he comes out with a fragrance and he gives his notes on Sammy Andros's website, if you copy and paste those notes, put them into Google, it'll pop up on Fragrantica, the fragrance he was trying to copy.
Oh, really?
Or, yes, be
Inspired by. Yeah, sure. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah. But I'm a fan. Listen, when someone takes something, you know who's doing that? They're doing, I don't know if you call it blends. I don't know. All Fragrances did this. So Baccarat Rouge 540. I just, again, like I wasn't a big fan. So what they did, excuse me. So what they did was they took Baccarat Rouge 540 and they blended it with Tom Ford's cherry. I don't know what they call that. Is it cherry?
Lost cherry.
Lost cherry.
Lost cherry. Yep.
I gotta tell you, man, that is good.
Pretty
It's
good?
so much better because that's the one thing I thought. For some reason, to me, Baccarat Rouge 540, which is why I gave it away, was missing something for me. It was like, yeah, it's okay, but it's missing something. I wasn't even sure what it was. And then this, I was like, oh, I like this, like a cherry inside this. This is really nice. So I don't mind clones at all. I know, sometimes people just do that. I don't know. I have this thing with clones where I'm like, listen, if someone else can make this fragrance and they can charge like a third of the price, how are you mad at that? Like, exactly. How are you mad at that? How are you going, it's unethical to wear clones? All right, well, I don't know. To me, at that point, maybe again, if you're fine with spending $500, that's cool. Again, that's fine. Yeah, do that, and maybe that is better. Maybe you're right. Maybe that's a little better. But if some people don't have. Listen, some people don't want to spend that kind of money because they don't have it, but they still want to smell good.
Yep.
And so that's why I think the cheapy videos are the most. To me, no matter who I watch, Ross is a great example. Yeah, his cheapy videos have the most views.
They do,
right? And the reason is people want to smell good, but not everyone wants to buy expensive fragrances. And I think there's not, and you know what? That's fine because there's more important things. So I think that's totally fine. And I think I'm always kind of shocked that people. I've seen some YouTubers really come down on it. It's like, oh yeah, oh no, this is, you do not, just not. All right, well, I don't know, man. Yep. There's people out there that can't afford to buy this stuff, and maybe they can afford it, but they'd rather buy their kids something. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Speaking of that, kids, there's the question. Do you have any kids?
Yes, 3 kids. So they're 7, 6, and 2.
Ooh, you're busy. Yeah. I have one. He's 17. He still keeps me busy. Just with the, no, just having one, once they start doing sports, that's when things get nuts.
Yes. Yep. I can't. And then off of work to start going to sports, and then sports get so overwhelming, and that they put their whole life into it. And yes. Yeah. So you have a lot you gotta be there for.
And the more kids you have, the busier you are, especially if they do all different stuff. My kid I only have one, but I got, I don't want to say lucky. It's a weird thing to say, but my kid didn't want to do. We put him in every sport when he was little. He hated them all. And so he did no sport. I was like, oh, I don't have to bring this kid anywhere. He hates everything. This is the greatest. Yes. He doesn't want to do anything. Yep. But then he finally got into wrestling. I think he did it because I did it. And then, and I'm not that parent. I'm not like, you got to wrestle. I didn't care. And, and he doesn't, he doesn't take it that seriously. He just does it for camaraderie and all that stuff, which is cool. Yep. But let me tell you, during wrestling, I help coach the wrestling team, and man, does it keep me busy during wrestling season. Oh my Lord. I mean, I don't have a free moment. But but it's still cool. He enjoys us. That's all that matters.
Oh and you do it together. So I mean, that makes it even.
And that's the big reason we do it together. Yeah, which is awesome. Yep. So it's fortunate that he did a sport that I actually have an expertise in. Otherwise, I'd be like, oh, I'm be in the stands. Anything else? Because I wrestled all year round. I didn't do any other sport. So any other sport, I would have been out of luck. Right. let's say top 3 YouTubers that you like.
Okay. So Jeremy Fragrance got me into this.
Yeah, right. That's what I figured. Jeremy Fragrance.
I don't watch him. He comes out with like 6 videos a day.
He does every day. It's crazy, right? I don't know how he does it.
I catch one a week or something.
Because you know what? Ross said to me, Ross had this really great advice. He's given me some just amazing advice. So shout out to Ross, of course. Not that he's going to watch this. I don't think he watches my videos, but if he did, shout out to Ross, because he gave me some great advice, which is try not to release more than one video. I think he said every 8 hours, something like that. He goes, because people aren't going to watch them all.
That's
And
true.
so I was like, you know what? That's a pretty good, that's good advice. So I try not to release more than one video every 8 hours. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
and but Jeremy, he's like so many videos every day, and I love watching them. So I try. My mornings are my video watching. I get out, I put them on the big screen on my TV, but I'm like, after that, I'm like, dude, you got too many videos, man. I can't keep up. I want to watch you, but you're just so much.
Yep, you gotta skip him.
Yeah, but he's great. So Jeremy's one of them. I would imagine.
Yes, and then of course Ross, TLTG Reviews. He was the second person I started watching.
Yep.
And then it kind of varied from there. I think I subscribed to Zaharoff because of Ross.
Okay.
So he's not really a reviewer, but he's what introduced me into Zaharoff, and I am obsessed with Zaharoff.
Yeah,
George is just a great guy in general.
Yeah.
So great guy.
Do you know he's the second subscriber I ever had?
Yes.
How crazy is that?
Was it Ross first?
It was Ross first, then George. Yeah, both of them. Which is wild because, by the way, for me, that's like celebrity. Here's what's wild about that.
Yes.
Same thing for you is I was watching Ross. I did not message Ross and say, "Hey, I started a YouTube channel," which you would think. No, you would think that that's what I did, right? I didn't. I actually was a fan of Ross, and when I saw Ross, like you get the alert that Ross, the TLTG subscribed to me. I'm like, I thought I actually thought I was being punked, or I don't know. I thought it was like a different, like in my mind, I was like, it's not that TLTG, like, because I watch Ross, and then I was like, first thing was like TLTG subscribe to your channel. I'm like, what? No, there's no way. I watched that guy. Why would he subscribe to my channel? And I still to this day don't know how he found my channel. Like, I don't know how he found it. And then
I've thought about that millions of times. I figured maybe you guys were talking at one point, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to do something for you.
No,
cool.
Nothing.
Yeah, man.
I never, until he subscribed, I had not talked to him because I don't want to bother people. I'm sure that they all, so I had never messaged him. I definitely had never messaged George. And I also knew who George was because I had seen, this was even crazier. I'd seen all those end of year videos where almost every reviewer named one of his fragrances as their yearly fragrance.
Absolutely.
So I knew who they both were. And when there were 1 and 2, I'm like, this is crazy. How is that happening? So it was wild. I still to this day can't figure out how. I never asked Ross because we do chat now, but I never asked him, hey, how'd you find me? I never asked him. I should probably do that. But I try not to bother him anymore because I don't want to be that like, I've decided that I don't want to be the person that anyone even thinks is trying to use someone for their followers. So I don't try to, I don't bother them. I don't want to bother them, and like, be like, hey man, what's good? If I have advice, recently I had something where I asked him some advice because I was something that I thought was kind of serious in the frag community. And so I asked his advice on it and he was awesome. He gave it to me. Besides that, I try not to, I just don't want people to think, because I've seen, people go, oh, not me, thank goodness. But I've seen other people say the other YouTubers are, oh, he's just doing this for followers or for subscribers. Yeah. I don't want to be that person. I figure people will find me or they don't. And I'm fine with the people I have as it is. Listen, everyone, would it be great to have 40,000 subscribers? Sure, I guess. But I like being able to converse with the people now. And I can imagine if you have 40,000 subscribers, that would be difficult. I would still try to do it because I feel like that's why people watch you, right? They want to be able to like relate to you and talk to you.
I agree.
Even if I had 40,000, I would do my very best to respond to any comments.
Yes. You probably have a lot more negative comments though, too, at 40,000.
Oh, for sure. It's funny you say that. I the other day I was talking to another YouTuber and we're talking about that. And I said, you know what? I don't know how I've done this so far, but I know I only have 140 subscribers. I've had one negative comment. That's it. And it was a funny one.
I haven't even seen the one negative.
Yeah, it was just one. It was, I don't know if the person ever went back and deleted their own comment or not. It was back in one of my first few videos. And it was, I didn't take, and I'm in the entertainment industry. So I don't ever, I'm built for that. I have heard so many negative comments in my career. So I thank the person. I kill him with, you know, because I said, you know what, I want to I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to comment, even if,
Yes.
and it was a comment that was weird. It was like, anyone who watches Jeremy Fragrance would never watch you. Something like that. Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, well, that's not true. Cause there's a lot of people who, you know, like you, for example,
Yes.
you know, I thought of
No
you
doubt.
immediately. I was like, oh, well, I know Ryan does. So that's one person. But I was like, all right, well, thanks. I remember exactly what video it was. I think it was 5 Fragrances for Life. That was the one because, and
Okay.
I hate my list too. So I completely agree.
Right.
But I think because I had named a fragrance that I had just gotten and I admitted it. I said, you know what? I think Bleu de Chanel is on my list because I just really like it, which it would not be on my list now. It just doesn't last long enough for me. But and it smells like my wife keeps saying it smells like a high-end lotion. So I'm like, well, that's not what I'm going for. Which it wasn't bad necessarily, but anyway, so this person, it was related to that. So like, how could you put a fragrance on your top 5 if you just got it? You know what? Anyone who watches Jeremy Fragrance would never watch you. And I found so many funny things about that comment, which was Jeremy Fragrance changes the loves every day. That's what we do. He's not the only one. I was like, well, man, we're collectors. I'm going to like something else tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Yes. But I was just like, hey man, thanks for taking the time to comment. And that was it. I never heard anything back. It was cool. He
Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, I think he was subscribed. I think he unsubscribed, which is cool. Yeah, whatever. I was like, I don't care about that at all. And you know what? It is flattering for someone to take the time out of their day to comment, even if it's negative. It's like, all right, whatever. You know what? You watch my videos or you did watch it and that's cool. You know, I'm fine with it. People have the right to their opinion. I know there's and I don't think, and you know, it was the only one anyway. So I said, that was the only negative comment. And he goes, yeah, wait till you get more followers. It's going to be.
That's true.
All right.
I don't have it. I even do it with Jeremy. If somebody says, you know, your prices are too high or it stinks, I'd never buy your junk, I jump in to defend him. I just say, hey, you probably haven't even smelled this. This is great. It's my favorite. I'm quick to jump in there. I shouldn't be, but I'm quick to jump in.
There's nothing wrong with that, though. You should listen. If you like something, why not? And yeah, I don't know. I want to thank you. You're like the most, I think you're you, Jerry, there's a few, but I think you're always first. Somehow you get the comment first every time. So it's awesome.
I see you pop up and hey, I'm going to watch it.
That's awesome, man. I want to thank you so much for being, you have to be one of the top 10 subscribers, right? You must have been one of the first 10.
I was at least number 7. I wasn't too far after George, but I think I was 7 or under.
Nice. All right, there we go. One of the true OGs. You, Jerry. I think Jerry is one of the top 10. I think. Trying to think who else, but I think Jerry's going to be the next. I'm going to try to get as many people who want to come on as possible.
Absolutely.
But,
watch him, man. That's for sure.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much, man. And awesome. I will, and we'll talk, of course, but I want to thank everybody for watching. Yeah. There you go. My son hates that, by the way. My son's 17. He goes, first of all, he hates the song. He goes, it's so funny because I will say this, I've had many compliments on the song. People are like, I love that song. One of the other fragrance reviewers said, I sing along with it when it comes on. My son goes, I had to show my son, he didn't believe me. I had to show him the comment. He's like, he goes, I can't believe it. And he goes, did you say heroin soap there? Like, yeah, it's cool.
My 7-year-old heard it for the first time today because I was explaining to him, he watches YouTube, but he watches kid stuff on YouTube. And I was explaining what we're going to do with an interview. And he's like, can I watch him? I'm like, yeah. So I started it and the intro comes on and he's like, I like that intro. Does he have an outro? I was like, no, he usually just says, all right, we out. So he even liked it. So 10
awesome. There you go.
Son, and he loves it.
There you go. My son's missing out. All right. Hey, thank you so much, man. And we'll talk real soon. And
absolutely, John.
We out. John Morel, Fragrance Review. Here comes the swag.